Big Palantir update today. Of course, we had news last week on Palantir partnering with Google, but also some bullish news coming out this morning on Bank of America initiating Palantir with a buy. So I'm going to run through the screenshots I have from the Bloomberg terminal to get to the bottom of what's their stance on the company. So they set a $13 price target, which is give or take 50% gain from when they sent out the note this morning. The analyst sees the company as a beneficiary of rapid growing demand for artificial intelligence platforms in both commercial and government end markets. Palantir's dominant position in the AI-powered software market should support more than 30% annual revenue growth and improving margins. Some more notes here. Palantir with a dominant position in the AI-powered software market, differentiated end-to-end, this is what Palantir talks about, and highly secure solutions and first-mover advantages. So I definitely agree with that. And while the stock has traded lower and in line with software peers this year, investors are not taking into account Palantir's significant U.S. national security exposure. It's an interesting call out there. Shares of the company have plunged 55% this year. Palantir currently has 5 buys, 4 holds, and 3 sells with an average price target of $11. Once again, Palantir trading at below $9 as I record this. We've got one more message here. While geopolitical tensions pose a risk to worldwide software penetration, they're an opportunity for Palantir's national security solutions in the U.S. and allied countries, as militaries and intel services will need enhanced data and logistics capabilities as soon as possible. The analysts also noted that the defense budget of the U.S. and its allies are expected to continue growing, but there will be an increased focus on modernization and using new technologies, noting that data is now a strategic asset and various countries' national security agencies need to make sure the data is defended from near-peer threats like Russia or China. Once again, Bank of America says that Palantir's leading-edge technology, along with its comprehensive software and management's willingness to deal with government agencies' barriers to entry, regulations, and complex operations, are likely to allow the company to continue benefiting from modernizing and gaining market share. So a very positive note coming from Bank of America. Large upside on that $13 price target currently as we are in a bear market. And I'd say just very much confidence talking about Palantir's management team, the focus of the company, and what it has going forward, growth commercially, growth on the government side, of course, supporting more than the 30% guidance, as I think many bulls would agree with. And this is coming on the back of an announcement with Palantir and Google Cloud partnering up, this new partnership supporting digital transformations in key industries, retail, financial services, supply chain. Basically what this means is Palantir is now available on Google Cloud. And I describe this as very similar to the AWS partnership that we had a year ago, if you want to go watch that video, and also fairly similar to the IBM partnership. So now we have these 3 major partnerships in terms of Palantir partnering up with the world's most successful software companies. Google, of course, being what I believe the most exciting partnership yet to date. I think many of you have seen the video by now, but Google management likens this partnership and using Palantir as continuing the narrative, with Shyam Sankar, of course, on Palantir being an operating system and being the Google of data. But now I want to leave you with something that I think is really important for investors to understand, and frankly, I think this is the best blog post that Palantir has written so far. I think they do a great job of explaining what Palantir does in a more holistic macro sense and why it's important. So I've attached narration here, and I'll be back to wrap up this video.
These days, it's nearly impossible to imagine a road trip without a mobile phone and navigation app. While printing out a guidance route or referring to a paper map seems so archaic to us today, we forget that these error-prone methods were the only options we had just a few years ago. How did we know when we'd get to our destination without knowing the traffic conditions lying ahead? What did we do when we took a wrong turn, or when the roads themselves had changed in the time since our map on hand was printed? In many ways, many companies today still use the equivalent of paper maps for navigating their financial and human resources. At Palantir, we've built the next-generation navigation platform for our finances, helping our people understand where they are today and see what lies ahead. For many leaders, the process of understanding where their companies are investing and how those investments are faring involves weeks of work from internal teams and outside consultants. Due to siloed, sensitive data and fragmented organizational views, the data likely live in different systems altogether, and may include sensitive information that must be handled carefully or only for certain purpose. The best version of the resultant output is an accurate picture of a company's state when the process started. The faster a company grows and the surrounding world changes, the more outdated the decisions made from this picture are. To avoid unpleasant surprises when it comes time to report, whether at the end of a quarter to shareholders or to ad hoc investor meetings, many companies must resort to implementing hurdles designed to avoid spending outside of a rigid top-down structure. While this helps limit damage in some realms, it may inhibit organizations' abilities to respond to change and even take advantage of investment opportunities. This is a technology problem. Why is getting a real-time view of your expenses and revenue hard? Let's extend the metaphor just a little further. To help you traverse the physical world, your mobile phone's navigation app needs to integrate data from a variety of sources ranging from GPS satellites orbiting Earth to traffic information gathered from myriad databases. The task of compiling a real-time view of your company's operational picture and comprehensive ROI involves a similar set of challenges. Data is spread across databases that don't talk to each other. From financial reporting tools, such as expense and billing management tools, to more task-specific tools like Google Ads or AWS billing, financial data and corresponding understanding of ROI are dispersed across systems. In order to understand a project's performance, expenses must be married to other metrics, which likely live in different systems altogether. For example, travel, payroll, and revenue data. The standard organizational view is fragmented. Each of the above-mentioned tools comes with its own, distinct data model, and sits at a unique vantage point within the organization. The view from that vantage point does not often provide a holistic picture of how the overall organization wants or needs to operate. This impedance mismatch can force the organization to alter its structure towards one dictated by those tools, just so that the data provided will make sense. This can make it difficult to change organizational structures as needed, because the barrier to changing the corresponding external financial systems is too high. Financial data is often an organization's most sensitive data. Ensuring accuracy and appropriate access to financial data poses a delicate technological challenge where a mistake can have market-moving implications. The effort and complexity involved with disseminating this information can be a significant limiting factor to the organization's ability to diffuse decision-making across all areas of the business. This can lead to organizations centralizing command, which is often counterproductive to business outcomes. Lack of coverage from existing tooling. Of course, the existing tooling and corresponding procedures were adopted for good reasons. They solve specific pain points for employees, finance, and increased management's visibility into operations. And there are surely more opaque areas where the organization would like tools that provide incremental visibility. Without a technological solution to those additional areas, decisions and transactions will be recorded in static form across spreadsheets and emails. How can Foundry provide a better solution? At Palantir, we faced all of the challenges described above, and more. But by wielding Palantir Foundry, we were able to tackle them directly and sustainably. Foundry gives Palantir's leaders across the business a real-time view of their project's ROI. Leaders are able to make independent and informed decisions based on a truly up-to-date view of the business. These decisions are then fed back via the common operating picture with minimal friction, enabling meaningful and relevant course setting at all levels. When we kicked off these efforts, we had much of the necessary data in our internal Foundry instance, as it was used to drive other use cases. As our company-wide operations evolved in size and complexity, Palantir incorporated new tools to meet the need. We then used Foundry's out-of-the-box data connectors to connect these tools bidirectionally to Foundry. We integrated procurement and credit card data to get a real-time view of expenses and added extra dimensions to this spend from other systems such as our recruiting platforms, marketing systems, and CRM software, giving us a comprehensive attribution to every dollar that is spent. With the benefit of an existing digital twin, we continued to expand this picture, integrating financial data into the way Palantir understands our business and enriching our existing structures and ontology with a financial dimension. This financial digital twin can be changed with little to no code, wherein the tools and dashboards built on this digital twin automatically update to reflect the evolving reality. We can rapidly test and adopt new tools, or even build our own with minimal investment when the market doesn't quite have tools that meet our requirements. These real-time updates and ability to customize our solution enable Palantir to track and assess new organizational units and go-to-market strategies. In addition to the business advantage provided by Foundry's digital twin, the platform's data lineage and change management tools can help simplify auditing changes and monitoring data health. Multimodal, granular security primitives make it possible to disseminate the right information only to the people who should be viewing that data. At Palantir, C-level leadership and on-the-ground project leads can use Foundry as the single pane of glass through which to view and assess financial and operational data, while appropriate access levels are enforced automatically. One of the most important advantages provided by business management in Foundry is that everyone can both see and agree on the validity of the data in front of them. This allows leaders to skip the step of validating and agreeing on numbers, and to instead focus on meaningful decision-making across the company. It also permits Palantir to practice distributive authority, as leaders at any level can see and understand the operational picture at a moment's notice. By using Foundry as Palantir's internal operating system, we, not our tools, are in control of our organizational structures and operational future.
So once again, that really was a key moment for me when I actually read through that blog post to see what Palantir's talking about and how important what they're doing is, how this software will change the world. Remains to be seen what will happen as a result of that. The reason I provided this blog post in this video is because it really highlights what Palantir is going after and how it's working towards a solution that is not available, that has not been solved for yet. So leave a like if you found this video insightful. Until next time.